Hey, Planeswalkers, Mythras here. Hope you're doing well and staying safe. Today, I got a fun, exciting, something different top deck, which is the name of the game. As always, this one hails to us again from a Platinum to Mythic 6+ wins deck. Now, we will talk about the main board, we'll talk about the sideboard, we'll talk about how to pull those two together for our best of 3 matches, and then we'll play some competitive Magic in both best of 1 and best of 3. I am currently cruising through this competitive season. I think I'm in Diamond 3, so who knows, maybe we'll be able to hit Mythic at a PR pace, personal record pace for myself, so we'll find out here. But with that said, Planeswalkers, before we check out this deck that you're here to watch, I just want to say thank you. As always, I truly am humbled by your support. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. You can also like the video if you like it. You can like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Stay up to date on daily content like this. And additionally, Planeswalkers, you can check out that profile of mine below on Untapped so you can see when I do hit Mythic. And then additionally, feel free to share your journey or your decks with me. I love seeing it and I love hearing it from you. And that's with the Untapped companion app down below. Now, also Planeswalkers, other ways to support the channel by becoming things like a patron, or feel free to hop in the Discord as well. Information is in the details below. All right, so what do we have going on? We have, my friends, an Abzan Doom deck. Yes, that is right. So we haven't played either of these in some time. One, I'd have to go back and check when the last time was that we've done Abzan. We've certainly done some Doom decks, but not this variation, and I'm pretty excited to talk about this one today because it's pretty interesting and we're splashing for some key things which we'll cover. Now, for those of you that are new, those of you that are returning, as always, deck list is available for you down below in the description, so you have access to it right away. Deck link is down there as well. And then if you have questions or comments, feel free to let me know down below, or you can hop into the Discord and ask there too. But please let me know, because if I don't hear from you, then I don't know, and I can't help. With that said, those of you, again, in terms of naming convention here, we got Abzan, so that means the white, the black, and the green color schemas. So plains, swamp, and forest to give us the Abzan grouping there from Tarkir. And then additionally, this is a Doom deck because of this guy right here, Doom Foretold. So here our enchantment is this, Doom Foretold, and at the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices a non-land, non-token permanent. If they can't, they discard a card, they lose 2 life, you draw a card, you gain 2 life, you create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance, and then we sacrifice Doom Foretold. So a very powerful kind of mid-range deck. Once we really get those and start slamming the Doom Foretolds on the board, lots of things and lots of lockdown begins to happen. So very, very nice deck that we'll talk about here in a little bit, but that is the name of the game. In terms of the objective is really controlling the early state, getting towards that mid game battle, and then still have some late game options if we need as well. So Planeswalkers, we're going to talk about the main board, we'll talk about the sideboard, like I said, we'll talk about how to sideboard, and then go play some competitive Magic. So I'll start with my flyover here because I like to see the deck in its totality, because it's important to understand all the archetype and the interactions and iterations of this deck to be successful as we look at it piece by piece. So that first piece we have is Glass Casket. This is an artifact. It exiles a target creature with converted mana cost 3 or less when it enters the battlefield. We then have the Birth of Melodies. So here we have an Enchantment Saga. We search our library for basic planes first. We can reveal it, put it into our hand, then shuffle the library. Then we create a 0/4 colorless wall artifact creature token with Defender, and then we gain 2 life as well. Now, here's an interesting card. So we got Acquisitions Expert. I really like this. When it enters the battlefield, target opponent reveals a number of cards from their hand, equal to the number of creatures in our party. We choose one of those cards, and that player discards that card. So pretty awesome in terms of helping thin our opponents out. Very, very helpful. All these things help really nicely in the early game. Then we have Banishing Light here. So this is a wonderful enchantment. It targets anything, and by anything I mean everything but a land. So we can then get rid of it until this actually leaves the battlefield, and then at which point they get whatever that permanent is back. Now, here's a nice newcomer and makes a lot of sense in this deck. So this is Mythras of Nethroi. Here we get to destroy target non-land permanent if it's a creature, or if we also play a forest and a plains, we essentially get to destroy anything minus a land. So again, destroy target non-land permanent if it's a creature, or if we spend the additional 2 to give us the Abzan coloring to cast the spell. And this is also at instant speed, so very, very powerful removal card here. Then we got Treacherous Blessing. So here, this enters the battlefield, we draw 3 cards. Whenever we cast the spell, we lose 1 life. And then when Treacherous Blessing becomes the target of a spell or of ability, we may sacrifice it. So we could always hit it with our own Nethros. We can hit it with our own Banishing Light. Permanent and opponent control, so we can't hit it with our own there. But then we do have things like our Doom, obviously, which we talked about, to clock it out so that we don't have to worry about it. Next, we got Archon of Sun's Grace. So you guys saw this yesterday in the Zordus mid-range deck that I ran. That's kind of also a control deck. But here we have a flying creature that also has lifelink, a 3/4 body, and then Pegasus creatures we control have lifelink. It has Constellation, which a trigger happens when an enchantment enters the battlefield. In this case, we get a 2/2 white Pegasus creature token with flying. We have good old Extinction Event here, awesome sorcery card to help us wipe the board, either odd or evens, and exile each creature with converted mana cost of chosen value. 0 is even, and that also gets rid of tokens for us. So we talked about Doom Foretold. Then we got some Simulacrum, my artifact creature golem guy here. Here, when this creature enters, we get to go find a basic land, shuffle our library, so nice for deck thinning, and ramp. And then additionally, when this creature dies, we get to draw a card. We have Elspeth Conquers Death. So here we get to exile target permanent and opponent controls. So again, this is a saga with converted mana cost 3 or greater. Non-creature spells our opponent's control cost 2 or less, or 2 or more to cast next turn. And then lastly, we can return a target creature or planeswalker from our graveyard, either adding a +1/+1 counter or a loyalty counter on it. Then last but not least, I love this. We have Garruk, the Cursed Huntsman here. So for 0, we create 2/2 black and green wolf creature tokens with when this creature dies, put a loyalty counter on each Garruk we control, and then destroy target creature for down 3 and draw a card. And then lastly, for -6, we get an emblem with creatures we control have 3/+3/+3 and trample. So great finisher, ramps pretty fast, and does a lot of things. So very, very nice towards the end game there. And then obviously our lands. Here we got Triomes, we got Fabled Passage, we got Castle Ardenvale. You could add probably a Castle Lochwin, maybe 1 or 2 there. The other thing that's interesting about this deck that you could consider is you could consider the good old Core Spirit. 3-drop, the nice one from Zendikar's Rising, where we can exile those kinds of things as well. Skyclave Apparition. So something to consider that you could change up with this deck. Overall, really excited to play this. Like I said, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and talk about the sideboard here. So first off, we got Duress here. Target opponent reveals their hand. We choose a non-creature, non-land card from it. That player discards that card. So you're going to run this against any control deck. You're going to run this against mirror matches. You're going to run this against Doom decks, Yorin decks, anything late game. You can run it against mid range. You're not going to run this against like mono red, or you could run it too though against Cruel Aggro if you wanted, just to try and get Henge out and get Cleave out too. So those are some ideas for you. But we do have a lot of good protection here in general. Then we have Eliminate, so destroy target creature or planeswalker with converted mana cost 2 or less. So this is really making a comeback. This particular card out of M21, I see it quite a bit. Run it against the Rogues decks, run it against the aggro decks, run it against Gruul, run against mono red, run against the Knights decks, Boros Knights decks, all those kinds of things. Run it against Boros Warriors as well. Lots of good things there for you with this one. So that helps. Then we get Heartless Act, same thing. Destroy target creature with no counters on it. Remove up to 3 counters from target creature. You're going to want to do all the same stuff. Aggro decks primarily, in my opinion, is where you're going to play this. So things like mono red, Gruul aggro, Rogues. I would run this even against some of the mill stuff too, just to get that crab off the board. But again, we can think about how we want to do that. You could run it against some mid-rangey decks, ones that are more creature-based is where I play that as well. Then we got BO3 I. So I really like this card. I always get a lot of questions about this one. In particular, I will tell you, this guy, if you can get him to 6, will close the game down for you. Absolutely. So, but you got to get there. It's great to have early. It makes a difference towards the late end of the game. One of the things within this deck, though, is because it's not a ton of creatures, you know, you got to really think about how you're going to play it. It's going to pair well with Arc and Sun's Grace, so you could consider those things. So I would actually run this against aggro, because this is going to help you in the early game by getting the +1/+1 and the indestructible if you do want to attack and kind of a thing. I like it. It can make a difference. You could play this late game as well, and you could consider it in the mid-range game. Just depends on kind of what your attack strategy is going to be, but this is a good variety of options. Then we got Archon of Sun's Grace. So here we got Flying, Lifelink, Pegasus, creatures we control, which we've already talked about this card, so I'm not going to go into it. I just got myself just used to going through everything. But here, again, it's not a bad early game, not a bad mid game, and not a bad late game card. So obviously we already have 2, so you can consider these in there to kind of gain life back. I would probably run it at the upfront because you're going to need the creatures. Some of the stuff in here can be a little bit slow, so we just got to be cognizant of that and how you want to play it. And then last but not least, we got Garruk again, Cursed Huntsman. I like this mid-range, late game. Early game, I'd probably cut this and go for a more linear deck, more defined against that early game battle, just to kind of help us out there, kind of a thing. So Planeswalkers, that is the sideboard for you. Really, really excited about this one, like it. Another option that you can put in there is Agonizing Remorse. So the 2 that allows you to exile target card as well. That could be a good option here for the sideboard. I do just want to call that out because I do get a lot of questions about Duress versus Agonizing Remorse once in a while. And it's actually going to be better for you against stuff that's going to have like mid-rangey or graveyard kind of a thing. So the only thing is you got to be careful of the self-inflicted pain. So just be careful with that. All right, so how do we sideboard? How do we want to sideboard? Let's talk about it from the aggro. We talk about it from the mid-range, and we'll talk about it from late game. So aggro decks are going to be those, like I mentioned, mono red, rogues decks, kind of. You could also include the knights decks, like I talked about. Lots of different things in that space. Warriors decks. So anything that's really kind of creature heavy that's trying to be fast. Gruul aggro, that's where I would play this. I would probably, like I said, I'd probably go Archon of Sun's Grace. I'd probably go BO3 I would maybe go Heartless Act here, or Eliminate. You can depend on these ones. That's a big shift in. So that'd be 7, that'd be 10 cards if we wanted to move in, which is quite a bit, but we can do that. So we have 24 lands. A little aggressive. If we do shift forward, I would definitely maybe cut 2 lands. I would consider taking out a swamp and take out either a Plains or a Castle Ardenvale, actually. If you're more risky like me, then I would probably cut the Plains. The other thing that you could do, no, I'd probably do that. So that's where I'd go there. Then I'd look to probably get rid of Elspeth Conquers Death. I'd probably look to get rid of Cursed Huntsman. I would consider maybe cutting Extinction Event. Now, that might be kind of controversial here, but if we are moving to a 1-for-1 trade, it's going to be fine. Additionally, it's going to hurt us if we do go the Archon of Sun's Grace route. So just keep those things in mind. I would keep these in, keep Archon up here. And then obviously we got the Doom Foretold, so you're going to get the activations through those. I would keep this for the discard to slow things down. Mythras and Nethroi is going to be a key card for us to destroy creatures, so I would also keep that, and I would probably keep Simulacrum. You could consider keeping a Gurk for late game, but you should be able to pound in with the life gain over the top and some of these other creatures to slowly give you the chip damage to kind of win the match. So that's how I think about it, is the trading the 1-for-1 per turn, having some of the creatures and things to stabilize your board, then you should be good to go. And then once you get Doom Foretold down too, that's totally gonna lock them out. Next, when we get to the mid-range, if it's creature heavy, or less creatures. We'll have to consider how we want to do that. At that point, I would consider running Duress. If you can't get hit with creatures, then things like Glass Casket can go away. I still like Banishing Light because there's other things you can hit there, and considerations. I would potentially go Archon's Grace. Again, like I said, if they're not running a ton of creatures, then go Duress. And even at this point, you could even put in another Garruk if you wanted. And I would consider moving out, again, if they don't have that 3 or higher kind of creature base. Get rid of Elspeth here. Get rid of Glass Casket. That gives you 6 to get rid of. And here, that's 4 plus 2 is 6, 7. And if you wanted to add Basri, you could go 8. So we got 6. What else would I get rid of? I would still probably keep Acquisitions Expert a little bit. You could always cut 2 there in the mid-range spot, particularly if they're discarding anyway. That's not really going to help you. So keep that in mind. The other thing is you could get rid of the Extinction Events. So in that case, you could add in the Duress, all these, and then either Eliminate or Heartless Act might be the better choice. So good considerations there. That's kind of how I play that one. And then last but not least, Control. So for our Control decks, again, you might not need to run Elspeth Conqueror's Death, so keep that in mind. If it is more of a late game kind of ramp deck, you might want to keep this to get Terror of the Peaks off the board or get those Giants off the board. You may want to keep Extinction Event, but those are some considerations. At that point, though, Glass Casket's a decent call to get rid of. You can get Duress in there. You could run Basri and these ones, so that's 4, so that's 8. Where would I cut again if it's not creature heavy? Glass Casket, consider Extinction Event, that gives you a 7. You can even cut Elspeth Conqueror's Death if you need, so that gives you up to 10. So lots of good options if they're more creature based, and I'm saying more creature based, that they have a higher number of creatures general than mid-range, the mid-range type match, or even an aggro deck. And I'm saying that in terms of how the deck makeup is. So instead of being really light on the creatures, they still have more than they usually would, I guess, to kind of clarify there. But if they are more creature heavy, then you can consider keeping Extinction Event, potentially Glass Casket. This helps me a lot against the Temur decks, actually. Helps you get off the Innkeepers and those kinds of things. So you just got to think about how you're trading. But that's kind of generally the direction that I would go with these ones. Again, Duress and maybe these 4 on the bottom end, and then kind of like I talked about how I would sideboard. So Planeswalkers, we talked about the main board, we talked about the sideboard, we talked about how to pull these two together for our best of 3 matches. I explained our aggro lineup, our mid-range lineup, and our late game control, whatever you want to call it, your deck lineup, because it's important as we kind of go down this journey and path with this Abzan Doom deck. So if you have questions, Planeswalkers, again, let me know down below. Happy to help in the comments. Also, deck list is available down below in the description, and deck link is available down below in the description. And then feel free to hop in the Discord, that's there as well. All right, so let's go play some competitive Magic here. We'll probably get some time to chit chat. I could be a little wrong here, but most of the matchups here for some reason have taken a while. I'm running my mono white deck, so you guys should absolutely check that one out. It's been doing great. I've actually been running like 80% plus, and until the first 2 days, over 30 matches, I was actually 100% on the play, which is pretty impressive. So let's go ahead and play our Abzan Doom deck, because that is why you guys are here today. Now, with that said, Planeswalkers, as always, thank you. I appreciate your support. Please feel free to take the time to click the subscribe button down there. I always appreciate that. Looks like we got Giant Bass here first, or Giant Bass, whatever you might think is Bass. Appreciate that. Please feel free to like the video if you like it. You can like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Stay up to date on content like this and daily videos. Other ways to support the channel, as I mentioned down below, by becoming things like a patron, so thank you. And then additionally, feel free to join us in the Discord servers down below. So I'm going to look, no tells here necessarily. World Championship sleeves, not going to give us a big tell. So problems that we have here. These two are very late game. This is good, and this is good in terms of lineup. I'm going to keep this. because if we do go to turn 5 and we hit it right, then this is going to be helpful. If we don't hit it, we're going to have a problem, and we're going to be sitting with 2 dead cards. So right now, I consider it a problem, because as far as I know, they're not in red. And if that's the case, that's not going to help us too much. So depending on what they play, and depending on what they pull from me, we will either decide. So Elspeth Conquers Death is going to help us on their higher end of stuff, so could work out, as long as we can lock them down. Acquisition Expert, because they are aggro, is going to help us quite a bit here. So we could play this, but I'm going to wait on it. It's going to do more damage than good, and we can actually double up here and kill a robber if we need to. So we got to 4. So we can hit, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to hit the robber here. You guys might think I'm slightly crazy. The only way that they're going to get us, though, is if they, well, even if they pull that, they're not going to get us. So I'm going to do that to drop Elspeth Conquers Death on Phoenix of Ash next turn. So let's do this. We'll get the robber off the board. I'm gonna give him a crack with the Phoenix. We could have kept this up, but you know, if they have aggro, if they don't, then we're okay. So if they hit me with the glass casket, that's gonna hurt. And I don't really want to pitch Treacherous Blessing, but I'm not really going to have much of a choice because we need to get rid of it anyway. Even. There we go. Boom. Uh-oh, he's got a burn spell. And what do we want to grab? Let's grab the forest. Nah, we don't need that. We already got a forest. Let's grab a swamp. If they get a burn card, we're done. Ooh, Doom. Let's do this. So if they have cleave, we are dead. If they don't have cleave... Alright, we're still good here. And we'll get our draw. So here's the thing though. If I play Doom, it's actually going to allow them to get rid of Treacherous Blessing, so I can't do that. I actually am going to have to do this. Play someone thin. Now we get our planes here too. So we'll get our, here we go. Acquisition expert. Now, I could play the Doom. And I'm going to do it. Because then I can get cleave. There we go. I'm actually going to do this because I want the draw, even though I could get him closer on death. But I want to get my 2 life. Now I could do this too. Which I will do, because I can hit it with my Doom. Now I could have used that to draw as well. so we'll get our 2. And we got full control here. And lethal. Boom! We did it, my friends. We did it. We came back from the brink with our Abzan Doom deck. Woo, lots of different options there that we could have played out. You know, a couple different things I could have did. I could have pitched the land. I could have done a few things, but we came back just fine. So wasn't worried about that. The land thing was probably a little fast play, but let's go into our second match here for a best of 1 with our Abzan Doom deck. Very, very fun. Worked out. Lots of things. Very, very interesting match there with the rogues taking our treachery, all that. But again, I felt based off when we played that, we could lock things down, keep it. The 2 things that could have got me there were anything with haste. Could have potentially came through and got us if they could have got the cleave on there. There was a chance. They had the burn, didn't quite get it. They said good game, but they didn't get it. So you gotta be careful. Gotta be careful, my friends. That's a prime example of why you don't say that. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that match. Now we're on to our next one here against Korun. Ooh, so I wish I had planes. We could get to 3. We do have a decent draw. I'm gonna try it. Super risky. You guys know me. I'm like sometimes do a horrible job. We'll see. Uh-oh. Well, we got this guy. Alright, looks like another mono red. Oof. We got very lucky, but within luck is statistics, and I knew my odds of drawing there were pretty good. So let's take the 1 or the 2. So we can do a couple things here. What do we want to do? I can Doom for Toldom. Yeah, let's do that. I'm doing that to save my Glass Casket and Vanishing Light, actually. So, I'm going to do this first here. Because I can get Conqueror's Death. And another one. Well, let's rip the Annex. There we go. Nice control again. You can bash and light Torban. Saving the Triumph this turn, you guys. I'll hang on to that. Boom! 2 mono red decks, check. My friends, this is one of the better BO1 lineups we've had in a while, and we did it. The keep that I questioned worked out, my friends. But I did know, again, statistically, you know, we should have drawn a land by that time, hopefully. That was essentially, we had a 40+% chance. So, given 2 draws, we should have ultimately hopefully got there. But I know how that works. Today, luck so far, at least in best of 1, was on our side. So let's go ahead now and play our traditional standard rank. There's the Zorus mid-range deck I did yesterday. You guys can check that one out. We're going to play our Abzan Doom deck for best of 3. So, Planeswalkers, while I have you again, as always, thank you. I truly appreciate your support. Please feel free to take a moment and subscribe down over there. Additionally, you can like the video if you enjoy it. Please like it. You can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Stay up to date on content like this, Planeswalkers. All right, with that said, other ways to support the channel down below in the description, like becoming a patron, or feel free to hop into our Discord channel here and hang out. I'd love to see you. We got a nice community there too. All right, and questions or comments, please let me know down below. I'd love to see what you guys are thinking. All right, here we go. D Sports Fan 92. What do you guys think? Do we keep this? Do we keep it? Do we keep it? Do we keep it? What are we playing? We're playing Temur deck. Obosh deck. Obosh it is. So I talked about this one a little bit. So this is going to be a tricky matchup for us. So we're going to keep it. We're definitely going to need these. We're definitely going to need let's look at your hand, discard a few things. So we'll go from there. And I want Garruk. I want Garruk. They must have a lot of lands if they're playing that route. Yeah, there you go. I'm almost debating, you guys, I'm gonna hold my forest back. Absolutely. And I'm doing that. I'm doing that on purpose. For sure. I'm doing it on purpose for sure. Because then they don't see it. Won't see it. You don't have to play it if you don't need to play it. Alright, my friends, here is how we lock down Terror of the Peaks. As long as they don't have a flash guy, we're okay. Boom, we got him. We got the Terror. Oh, we are in. We are in right now. The debate I'm going to have here, though, is do we... So they're one shy of Ultimatum. And do we double the Doom? So we definitely double the Doom, for sure. Because they're not going to hit here. So if they play something, there we go. That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. 100% a-okay with that. So let's see what they have in their last one here. Oh, we got them. They were mad. Oh, okay. We gotta play this a little bit differently. So even though that worked nice, it worked nice. That was nice. And I'll say it again. That was nice. We're gonna hang on to these. We're gonna grab Garruk. Extinction Event is nice. But it's going to be a slower matchup. I'm going to leave that as kind of a last effort here. I like Arkan, and I like the Duresses. The only thing with Duress, though, is it's narrow against Ultimatum. And we did fine. I could try and run it without. We could go this way. Because Casket's still going to hit majority of their stuff. Alright, let's try it this way and see how this match goes. We could add Heartless Act, though, too. We could go some Heartless Acts. I could go dump a glass casket here. Go Heartless Act. And we could dump one more Extinction and go Heartless Act. That might be the better play. Casket. I'm gonna dump Casket and we're gonna go all the way on Heartless Act actually. Because we don't need we can just get him with Heartless Act. That's gonna be a better play. We maintain that. We get our Arkans. I'm gonna run. I think we're okay there. Let's do this. We'll make it late game. Whew. We'll see. We'll see. Good matchup. First match there. This one we got a mulligan. Keep this. I'm gonna go this route actually. Now I'm gonna bet that their sideboard options are going to be pretty good against this deck, but we will obviously find out pretty fast here. All right, there's the thinning and the ramp. Could play that for thinning. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. They're probably going to get something here, though. There it is. we're gonna get it here. Well, I could go Garruk, I guess. I could go Garruk. Doom's gonna hurt me. I think they have it. I'm gonna save Garruk here because they haven't seen it. So we'll make them play it out. We don't have the additional one. Let's see if they got anything else. Not good enough, my friends. Not good enough, unfortunately. So let's think about that. So no counters. Casket's good again. We didn't hit Heartless Axe. Deck thinning. I'm gonna try it one more time. And that's also why we can't play the caskets, because they can push those back. So we just need to be careful of that. Let's keep it, because the Archons will still help us. We just didn't get the right lineup. We'll give it a shot again. There we go. Not good on the flooding, but as long as we draw stuff every turn, we'll be okay. Oh boy. Good news is next turn I guess we can cycle. Oh, there we go. I'm okay with that. Alright, there we go. And Garruk. So actually the smarter play, my friends, there would have been to play the Triome. So it was a slight misplay, because then we could have played Garruk next turn, which is a bummer. So that was a slight mistake. Ah, there we go. We'll see if they got a counter here. I'm a little worried about that. There we go. Watch out. These woods get awful dark. So we'll see if sitting on our Garruk paid off for us in our last match. We'll find out quickly here. Now, what I will do, well, they did me a favor anyway. I was gonna say what I would do is just sack my Garruk, but we will take that. And now we can pretty much lock the board down for the most part. So we got to try and finish them before they get off. It's gonna be close. Before they get off their ultimatum. One, two, three, four, five, six.
You cannot run or hide.
So I'm doing this to save my double Mythras, or Mythos of Nethroi here. There we go. That was a nice one for us. I gotta figure out where I want to play this one though. Let's take that guy.
You're not scared of dogs, are you?
So we still got our -3 with Garruk, so if they play anything big on the board, we're good there. So we don't have to worry too much.
Displays nature's ingenuity. Beauty lies in variation.
We have lethal right now. Boom, we got it. Whoo, what a day, what a day. Taking down 2 of our best of 1s, taking down our best of 3 with an Abzan Doom deck. Oh, and I thought this matchup would be hard. It was a tough one, but we fought through it and we made it work, my friends. So super, super great matches today. Really, really fun with this Platinum to Mythic 6+ win deck. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I certainly did. This is makes up for a nice clean sweep here with it. Makes up for the last couple days where we were not running super hot. So getting closer to that PR, hopefully for Mythic. We'll see how it goes. But again, Planeswalkers, this is the deck that we just played. Really, really liked it. Very smooth. If you do got questions or comments, let me know down below about gameplay or about the deck. Obviously, a couple things we talked about that you could change up. The other thing that you could do too is you could put in some modal lands for some of that smoothing. You could do Hagra's Mauling would be a nice one in there as well, so something to consider. But overall, great deck. Really, really enjoyed it. Here's the sideboard. for you too here. And then lastly, Planeswalkers, again, as always, I truly appreciate your support. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. Additionally, like the video if you like it. You can like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter and Twitch as well to stay up to date on daily content like this. And you stay safe. Other ways to support as well are becoming things like a patron. Information's down below, or hopping in the Discord. So Planeswalkers, going back to that, you stay safe. We'll see you again soon. Take care. Mythras out. And in the meantime, if you have questions, like I said, please don't hesitate to ask, and we'll see you again shortly. All right, Mythras out.